Opening statements are expected to begin today in the copyright infringement trial against Ed Sheeran. The lawsuit claims Sheeran's 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud copied Marvin Gaye's 1973 classic Let's Get It On. So let's listen to them. First, you'll hear Sheeran's song and then Gaye's.
Take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
There you have it. Heirs of Ed Townsend, Gaye's co-writer, say Thinking Out Loud violates their copyright. But Sheeran's lawyers argue that, quote, musical building blocks aren't eligible for copyright protection. Let's bring in ABC News contributor and DJ Megan Wright and ABC News contributor Brian Buckmeyer, our legal contributor, for more on that. Brian, let's start with the legal side of all of this. What does each side have to prove here?
So like you said, Diane, it's about building blocks. And for those that are representing Let's Get It On, they're saying that these four chords, in ascending order are uniquely theirs. And that Ed Sheeran, even though in the second of those four chords it's being slightly different, he copied the heart of Let's Get It On. And because it's a type of case where it's not criminal but civil, they have to prove by a preponderance that this is a copyright infringement. This is unique to the music industry because it's not about lyrics or the actual song, but the melody.
Megan, you're a DJ. I remember Mark Ronson did a great TED Talk on how music is inspired by other music. You must have played both of these songs a million times. So what's your take?
Yes.
How similar is too similar? And how easy is it for something like this to happen?
Well, here's the thing. You know, as a DJ, my favorite thing to do is actually to, if I hear something, I'm like, okay, what is this sample? Like, is it possible that this is a sample? Is it interpolation? So then I can actually go and maybe play the two songs together because you want to make your sets diverse. So this was actually a song where that is what I thought. I actually I remember going and Googling to check to see if it was a sample. And when I didn't see, the name listed, I was like, okay, maybe it was an interpolation, or maybe it was, a way that he was able to do it because of the chord progression, which is, what some people, say, right? So, but the difference between the two is, a sample is when you actually take from the song, and an interpolation is you're kind of like replaying. So I didn't see either of those, two situations in the credit, but, what you mentioned with the TED Talk is very true. We live in a world where music is everywhere, and, you're inspired by what's around you. So it can happen, on purpose. It can happen on accident. It could be a mistake. But to me, I get it. I get the feeling when I hear it, for sure.
So, Megan, I just want to clarify. If it's an interpolation, you're saying it's sort of, is that like an interpretation of, rather than a sample, like, which is a copy? And if you do that, do you still have to credit the original artist?
It depends. An interpolation is a replaying, right? And that is not always protected. Sometimes it is, and it's a case-by-case, basis. But also, to be completely straightforward, I've put out music before. I've released an album, and what I was mentioning is there are different ways for it to happen. It can happen on purpose. Like, I've seen people actually release songs that they could not get cleared because they knew eventually somebody would come looking for clearance and they would pay, right? That's on purpose. I've seen it happen by accident, and I was in a situation before where a producer sampled a song and I wasn't familiar with the original. So I had no idea that the song was actually a sample of a different record. So then by the time the song was released, you have to go back and, do the right thing, because people should always, obviously get what they are credited for, and then a situation like this is what it kind of makes me feel like is inspiration. I heard it and I thought that, but I can also see a world where it's like, look, they're similar in feeling, but it may not be what you think it is.
Brian, this feels like tricky legal territory when you're talking about whether something captures the heart of another song, right? So Sheeran won a previous case involving Shape of You. Marvin Gaye's heirs won a previous case over the song Blurred Lines. And the judge also put this trial on hold pending an appeal in a case accusing Led Zeppelin of a similar copyright issue in Stairway to Heaven. And Zeppelin won that case. So could those cases set any legal precedent here?
Then they all are setting some form of precedence. In this case, we'll go even further. Breaking it down slowly, the 2020 case of Shape of Your Heart, where Ed Sheeran won, that was about plagiarism. And he won that case because Sammy Switch's song, Oh Why, was a form of plagiarism. That's think about it, it's like college, just direct, copy and paste. The other songs that you mentioned as well, it was a similar idea. The reason why the judge put this case on hold for the Led Zeppelin case is because it's almost on point. And the ruling in that Led Zeppelin case was that some elements of creative works were so commonplace that only virtually identical, and that's the quote, versions infringed upon the copyright. So the idea here with Ed Sheeran is this virtually identical to the song Let's Get It On, even though we know that one chord is a little different.
It's a case that could have big implications in the music world in general, and Sheeran himself is expected to testify, so we'll be watching it closely. Brian, Megan, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.